Hello, welcome back and good morning from Kochi City. Got in late last night, had some dinner, did some editing, went to bed. It was a pretty early night. Explored the city a little bit, just went looking for a restaurant and it was very, very quiet. I think a lot of people are still out of town for the New Year's period, but managed to find a restaurant and it's been really interesting. Here in Shikoku, I've noticed a lot less English. So it's been a lot of fun trying to communicate with what limited Japanese I have, and just basic gesture-based communication, figuring it out, using Google Translate where I needed to. So ended up in a little yakiniku restaurant last night, managed to order some steak and what I thought was egg fried rice turned out to be a bowl of rice with a raw egg on top of it. So that was a new experience for me. It's been interesting. A lot of the looks I've been getting around town, I think a lot of people aren't expected to see a white guy walking around this area. So it's been, been interesting. It's been a mix of surprise. I had one guy give me a huge grin as he rode past on his bike, and even a little bit of suspicion, I think, at times as well. So it's been interesting. Today I am off to Matsuyama. So I am starting down here in Kochi. This is where we are at the moment. And first stop of the day, I'm going to go visit Kochi Castle, which is nearby. And then I'm going to come up here to this yellow dot here, which is some waterfalls. And then eventually end up in Matsuyama, right on the western point of the island. So I've got about 3 hours of driving in me today, which is not too bad. But I'm going to get a pretty early start, because otherwise the day just gets away from me. But Kochi City here is beautiful. Just nestled deep in the foot of this mountain range, very similar to the sort of surrounding geography of Kyoto and Kobe, really. But anyway, let's head out, grab some breakfast, and head off to first stop, Kochi Castle. Well, here we are at Kochi Castle. So just above the trees there. Beautiful spot, lovely morning for this. But first of all, I need some breakfast, and as it happens, 7-Eleven right there. So I'm gonna go to feed, and then we'll go explore the castle. Let's go exploring. It's a stunning day today, so it's very, very cold. I think it was -1 this morning. I think it's probably about 1 degree at the moment, but that sunshine is lovely. This is a very beautiful place to be exploring on a day like today. So this is amazing, actually able to get inside the castle here and have a look around. It's really cool. So this room here is called Jodan no Ma, which means raised floor room. So in this room here, this will be present in samurai and royal houses, but the floor is actually higher than the rest of the floor out here. And that's to receive guests, and it's in order to elevate them and make them feel prestigious. And then behind here is actually a hidden room where bodyguards and warriors would hide, and if there was any trouble they could burst through the door. Really, really interesting to be able to see this sort of stuff. It's quite a climb. Wow. The staircase is just like vertical. Straight down.
Okay, Kochi Castle was incredible. That was really good fun. Really amazing to be able to actually get inside the castle as well and have a walk through. And the museum that they had in there was really, really good. So interesting history of this place. It was built in the 1600s, and then in the early 1700s was mostly destroyed by a fire. And fires seem to be a pretty common thing through all the castles, and a lot of the older temples we've been to, a lot of them have been destroyed by fire. So it was reconstructed in the mid 1700s and then managed to stay intact for another 200 years and was slightly damaged in the war. It was bombed by the US. Not enough to destroy it, but certainly enough to do some damage. And they begun restoration work at the end of World War II, only for it to be destroyed even more significantly by an earthquake about 12 months later. But it was fully reconstructed in the 1950s, and that's the state that it's in now. But beautiful spot, really well done, and the museum is very interesting. And I'm now just walking through castle grounds, and there's just this beautiful forest section here. I actually just noticed, look down here, we've got some people doing samurai archery training. You just never know what you're going to come across next here. It's fantastic. So this is definitely worth the drive. The colour of this water. It's just so vibrant blue. Beautiful spot. Made it back to the car alive, but barely. No, the walk was beautiful. The hard part was those stairs. I don't know if you can tell from the video, but each one of those stairs is like a foot high. They're not short steps, so hard work. I've kept driving up to the top of the mountain here, and I found this little township, but it actually looks to be deserted. What I did find was interesting was this is clearly a logging area. You can see up in the hills, the distance there, they've got the cuts, and then there's this cable that goes all the way across. So they clearly fell the trees up there, and then with this pulley here, they've got a sort of flying fox cable to run them down the hill. And you can see there's logs here, so I'm guessing they placed the logs on top of these ones. So I don't know if this is been used recently and it's just closed for the holidays, or whether this is the remnants of a logging town. But there's a few houses, a restaurant, and yeah, all seems to be completely empty right now. Anyway, I'm going to head down the mountain now, get back on the main road, find some lunch, and get on to Matsuyama. drove past this suspension bridge, and it is stunning. But it is very windy and cold, and the bridge is actually shaking in the wind, so that's fun. Just entering this tunnel. I don't know if you could read that sign there overhead. This tunnel's 5 kilometers long. That was nuts. That went on for so long. And we've just been going downhill the entire time, and apart from the very end, it was just a straight line. Just come straight down the mountain through that tunnel. It was so much of a decline that my ears popped halfway through that tunnel, so that was amazing. So I just filled up with petrol again, and this time it was a full service station. So it's where you just pull up to the pump, or to the Bowser, and someone will come out and serve you, and they'll put in the fuel for you and everything. So there's a little woman working there. She ran out, literally ran out to the car, and I just said regular fuel and full tank. And she filled up the tank for me, and the pumps are automatic. Once they start, you don't have to keep holding it like ours do. So while she was filling up, she wiped all my windows down with a little cloth and a spray bottle. And I imagine the fuel tank in this car is pretty small, but for 3/4 of a tank of fuel was 2,800 yen, so $28 for nearly a full tank of fuel. It's I think it said 183 yen per litre, so that would work out to roughly $1.80 for us. So pretty similar in terms of fuel pricing a lot of the time, I think. But yeah, interesting to see how it all works. And I paid cash, so she just brings me the receipt to show how much it was. I give her the cash. She again runs back into the shop to get change, runs back out, hands me my change. She actually had a little dog with her as well, and the dog was barking at me, so she picked up the dog. So I said hello to the dog, and then she just stood there next to my window, smiling, holding the dog until I drove away. It's so funny, the attention to detail they put into service here. All of the staff who are in service are so over the top attentive and lovely. The Japanese people have been beautiful. It's been one of the best parts about the trip. Made it to Matsuyama, just in my hotel room, and I have quite a view tonight. So right up on top of that hill is Matsuyama Castle. So I'm going to go there first thing tomorrow morning and have a look around before I leave Matsuyama. But beautiful spot. Really treated today.